Hey, what's up, ladies and gentle tubers? It's Tyler. Welcome back to the Everride channel. And today I have a sad story full of woe and heartache. You might recall the legendary Black Widow. It's the veritable Millennium Falcon of dual sport motorcycles. A year 2000 Suzuki DRZ 400E that didn't look like much, but definitely had it where it counts. Had an odometer, but a rough estimate put it somewhere between maybe 60 and 80,000 miles on the original motor. Suspension and carb mods from Mr. Duff Factor had made this bike into an absolute beast of a dual sport, despite never having had any power mods done to the motor itself. The bike had taken me from the coasts of California to the peaks of Colorado and the red rocks of Moab many times. From long road trips to short enduro shreds through difficult terrain, the Widow did it all. Through years of equal negligence and love, I truly thought the Widow was invincible. But despite years and years of hard riding and virtually no problems, it wasn't. Last year, during a rally right about this time in October, we were helping a mother and son in a side-by-side who had rolled over on a pretty steep hill. Long story short, we asked the mother and son if the bane of all single tracks that they'd been driving was in park or had the brake on, and after hearing the affirmative, we got permission and rolled it back onto its wheels. The Desert Destroyer was not, in fact, in park or in gear, and it careened down the steep hill like a cruise missile, directly into the broadside of my beloved DRZ, Black Widow.
Hard rain is falling. Hard rain is falling. Nothing's gonna be the same.
Even though the mother, son, and dirtbag side-by-side rental company weaseled out of any responsibility for my mangled DRZ, my insurance, Progressive, was really good to me. And I have a card in the upper right-hand corner if you want to click that and learn about some tips for insurance, because it was a big deal. Unfortunately, in the end, the frame was totaled, but many of the mods and parts on it could still be salvaged. Now, a few years before this, my friend John Lamont sold me his DRZ for dirt cheap as a backup bike in case I needed to pull some parts in a pinch. After the side-by-side incident, I needed to pull pretty much all the parts, including the frame, and thus was born the Black Widow 2.
Sitting on the roof and above your head, stimulating thoughts and what you say. Can't figure out where I go. Stimulated thoughts drown my soul, and it's all a dream. Sitting on the roof and above your head, stimulating thoughts and what you say. Can't figure out where I go. Stimulating thoughts drown my soul, and it's all a dream.
The Black Widow was back, and it was utterly stunning. But at the end of our shakedown ride, something went horribly, horribly wrong. A simple wrist pin had failed and in turn destroyed the piston, the shaft, and made a mess of the case. But all was not lost. The motor could be rebuilt, and thanks to John Lamont, we had a spare motor. And within a few days, Zach had the Widow back in business right in time for the first rally of the year.
Bike, dude, that clutch.
The rally went swimmingly, kind of literally in parts, but the riders were awesome, the riding was glorious, and the Widow performed perfectly, right up until the very end of the rally's final day. I was charging through some whoops and the transmission had a catastrophic failure, locking the bike into first gear. So, the Black Widow is down once again. But as I publish this video, there is hope. The highly modified motor is back in Damon's loving care, being rebuilt once again. The spare motor is in Zach's incredibly capable hands, where he is digging into the transmission issue. So with luck, it won't be long until the legendary Black Widow is reborn once again. But in the meantime, there's been a new development, and it may not be a very good thing. Hey, before you scoot, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video and spending your valuable time hanging out watching them with me. I want to give a special thanks to Gabe from Torture Test Magazine, to Mitch Wilson, and to Jeff Nelson for providing the footage of the Black Widow, and a massive, massive debt to the eternities thanks to Damon Aguirre and Zach Allwell for helping rebuild the Black Widow. It's been a massive project, and there wouldn't be a Black Widow without these two. So thank you guys so much. Also, Zach was a great model for the drone video that you saw of the Widow. Anyway, as always, much love, ladies and gentle tubers. Have a ride out.